Today, we talk about last week's ICE walkout, the egg drop, the recent Educating Children of Color Summit, a new AP class, and a reminder on assembly etiquette for Baltimore Bucks.
All that and more on this week's Kram.
Good morning, Rampart. I'm Caleb Bozier.
And I'm William Roberts.
Last Wednesday, students did a walkout to protest ICE and gun violence. As a reminder, KRM does not support one political opinion over another. The following is the opinion of the students who were interviewed.
And with that, Alexis Walker has our first story.
Last week, students found themselves divided over issues like immigration enforcement and gun violence.
February 25th, students organized a protest against the Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE. For some students, the policies carried out by ICE became an issue long before the walkout.
I ended up having to ask my mom if my dad would still be allowed to live in America because my father immigrated from Cuba when he was 14 years old, and as far as I know, he only had a green card. And with all the changes happening to policy and legislation, I didn't know if he would get deported anyways. And at that moment, it just felt a lot more real, knowing that he could go away at any moment.
The idea isn't behind some statistic or number inconsequential vote. It is the belief of real people that what is happening to other real people isn't right. And I think that's why it's important to show up.
That is why I came out, because I am just another person who can make up a crowd.
But the walkout didn't just highlight strong opinions. It also revealed how students on the opposite side of the political spectrum felt.
I didn't really agree with it. I saw the protest and thought that I don't think that it's a smart idea to abolish a federal program, and that abolishing and the other things that they said weren't correct.
I'm not against ICE. I am for ICE, and I just didn't participate because I didn't feel like I needed to represent what I believe in politically at a school.
Some students agreed that the school is a perfect place for political discussions.
I think that if you have political opinions, you should have the right to voice them, especially since people from the other side seem to voice their opinions a lot all the time too. I see no reason why me and the rest of the people participating in this protest shouldn't be able to either. So,
throughout history, students have always been on the right side of history. We have protested for black rights. We protested in Martin Luther King time. Even in World War II, students were protesting because what else can we do?
I think that it's a great place because a lot of the people here are developing their opinions right now, and being able to hear both sides of the story is a great idea. And I believe that people get to hear and live by both sides in our school. And I think that being able to share our free expression and having the freedom of speech here is an amazing idea.
I figured to speak out today specifically, I wanted to let people know that there is a common thought happening and that listening to one another is still helping.
Whether students chose to walk out or stay inside, the conversation didn't end just at the doors. At Rampart, the debate continues, not just about policy, but about where students believe their voices belong. This has been Alexis Walker, reporting for KRAM.
Thanks to Alexis and all the students who are willing to share their opinions.
Last week, the physics class performed the egg drop test above the commons.
Mr. McFarland started doing these egg drops 16 years ago.
And it looks like Chris Schrader just dropped in with the story.
This year, Mr. McFarland brought back the egg drop lab after a 5-year hiatus.
3, 2, 1.
For the past 16 years, Mr. McFarland of the physics department has held an egg dropping tournament in which students have to build 2 contraptions, a catching device and a landing vehicle to protect an egg from breaking at various heights. This year's tournament is the first one held since quarantine back in 2020.
You know, I did it for almost 20 years. I think the last time we did it was right before COVID. If I remember right, I think the whole COVID thing hit like right after we finished. And for years, I thought, it's a lot of work. When I used raw eggs, it was a lot of mess. There was a lot of cleanup, and I felt like we didn't really get out of it all the energy that we put into it. But subsequently, I got these pocket labs that are these little miniature sensors, actually created by a Rampart alum. And I could do the egg project more efficiently and without all the mess.
There are a lot of equations that go into making sure an egg lands safely, and the students worked hard to make sure their devices succeeded.
I have a lengthy list of kind of materials restrictions and size restrictions. So this year they were allowed 18 inches by 12 by 12 for the outer dimensions. And they just couldn't use anything dangerous, or, we couldn't drop something really heavy from 6 meters in the air. So I gave them a couple days of class and brought in a whole bunch of materials that they could use to design it. And their job was to just make sure that the egg, the sensor egg, didn't spike a force above a certain amount.
As per tournament rules, each student had to create a unique design to test out outside of the library. And if it succeeded in keeping the egg safe, then they got to move on to finals. This year's theme was Winter Olympics 2026 and sparked many creative designs by the students.
I call mine the Olympic bucket, and basically it's just a bucket with a pillow on the bottom and some bubble wrap on the sides with some bubble wrap hanging over the top.
So our project was we carried the flame, so it was a torch, like the Olympic torch, and then we had this like foam ball with spikes on it that was colored like the Italian flag to represent the Olympics in Italy.
I didn't really have a name, but my idea was the Jamaican bobsled team, and that was my design.
At first, I kind of wanted to make 2 pillow tubes that collected the egg without having bouncing outlet back and forth. But then at the last moment, I changed my mind, so I kind of switched it up and made the bottom thing. So the egg came down and bounced up against the bubble wrap when it fell.
We wanted a spiral to give more time. So we set up a tall structure. And then we wanted a funnel on it, so we came up with the idea of a torch for the other one. We just wanted something soft with sticks on the side.
Honestly, I kind of ran out of ideas, and I kind of used ideas from my other classmates and brought it together. And then I just chose the Jamaican bobsled team.
If you're interested in this project, talk to your counselor about taking physics next year. This has been Chris Schrader reporting for Kram.
One eggs, one experiment.
And it looks like physics isn't the only student group that did something last week.
On the 21st of February, our student chapter of Educating Children of Color attended a summit.
Nelly Rivera Trejo went with them to get our next story.
The 19th Annual ECOC Summit gave students the chance to learn about important career-related skills and celebrate cultural diversity.
Educating Children of Color is an organization that works to dismantle the cradle-to-prison pipeline for children of color and children in poverty through equity, empowerment, and education. Rampart's ECOC chapter has built a diverse community that fosters academic excellence and important leadership skills.
ECOC is Educating Children of Color. It is a nonprofit organization that was started here in Colorado Springs. When it began, Dr. Regina Walker had saw a need for really looking at how we educate children of color. It has since evolved into issues that not only impact students of color, but really impact all students in general. It is more about looking at students as a whole and what do we need and how do we make sure every student is successful.
It gives kids just more opportunities to get things like scholarships or just more knowledgeable about things in school. One thing we do is a community service project, and we're just helping our community while also learning what opportunities we have.
The Leadership Academy is what we run here on campus, really focusing on getting kids active in leadership roles.
Every year, ECOC hosts a summit where all students, educators, and parents are welcome to attend. They discuss solutions to the cradle-to-prison pipeline and offer various educational opportunities in the form of scholarships and breakout sessions.
The summit has a number of different breakout sessions that are geared towards issues that we have seen impacting students.
At the summit, everyone gets the chance to interact with a lot of different professionals and learn a lot about a lot of different fields. And at the same time, they also get to learn different skills and resources that would be useful for them in their adult and professional life.
My favorite one was called Leadership in Spring Rolls, and we got to learn more about our leadership styles, and then we also got to make spring rolls with this chef.
I've been teaching about skincare and how you can be your own light through caring for yourself and caring for your skin. How taking care of yourself helps you show up well in this world.
I'm teaching hip hop at these breakout sessions, And the reason why it's so important for me is because a lot of people are scared to dance around other people. And what I do is I give them the opportunity to be inspired and feel confident.
Members of ECOC shared why they continue to be in it and why it is so crucial to have this space within the Rampart community.
For me, ECOC is important because it's a place where I get to hang out with my friends and interact with other people like me and really learn about cool new things.
There are many, many statistics that say that the more that you see people in positions of power, positions of leadership that look like you, it gives you the confidence to know that you can be that person too. I want every kid to know that it doesn't matter if you're a male or a female, if you're black, white, or purple, like you can be a successful leader. Period, end of story. For me personally, I am raising 3 kids who look very, very different. And as their mom, I feel like it's important for me to understand what I can do to help make sure that they're successful and positive leaders in the future, just like my parents did for me.
No matter our cultural or social differences, everyone has a place here at Rampart. If you are considering joining ECOC next year, talk to Ms. Edgett in the main office. This has been Nelly Rivera-Trejo reporting for Kram.
Thank you, Nelly.
The cybersecurity class here at Rampart just got an upgrade.
Next year, they're adding a new AP Cybersecurity class.
And now Morgan Spooner has the next story.
Cybersecurity is a class offered at Rampart in order to get students ahead in their certifications so they can begin their careers ahead of time. Rampart offers a wide range of classes, but some of those classes are unique to a certain group of students, such as cybersecurity.
It's getting you prepared for the certification exams to be certified in what's called CISA, which is a networking certification, and SEC Plus, which is security certification, in Cyber Defense Pro.
Students express why they believe this class is valuable for them and for other students looking to take it.
I'm in cybersecurity too, and I decided to take it because my first year, I was kind of interested in the topic, and I only took cybersecurity 2 because I wanted to delve deeper into the material and understand it more.
I decided to take those classes because I think tech is very, very influential in the future, and I think there's a lot of money to be made from it.
I decided to take it because I wanted to get more into computer-related subjects.
These courses help to prepare students for jobs and get ahead in their career fields.
Yes, so those certifications will get you a job, right after high school without a college education. You can even get a job during high school with those certifications.
I can see it benefiting me in my future if I decide to take a career where cybersecurity is needed, or because you can gain certain certifications from cybersecurity.
I think it's a good program to get into if you want to get into computer protection and cybersecurity careers.
I think it's very beneficial out of school too, because there's a lot of tech and people use it all the time. So I think it's good to know how to use it. Next year, a new type of cybersecurity class is being introduced that is offering more than what the class has now.
AP Cybersecurity, same as cybersecurity, except you get an AP college credit, and there is a different cybersecurity certification that is through AP College Board. It's not the other 4 that are offered for cybersecurity or cybersecurity 2, but it is another certification that College Board has created for cybersecurity.
If you are interested in the new cybersecurity class or just taking cybersecurity, be sure to look for it when signing up for classes. This has been Morgan Spooner reporting for KRAM.
Thank you, Morgan. For our final segment today, we have a few reminders.
For our upcoming Ball for Bucks assembly, KRAM and the Student Council wanted to remind everyone about the assembly etiquette.
Rowan Hamer stomped his way in to show you this public service announcement.
Ball for Bucks is almost here. Please follow these rules or we'll have a problem.
Yeah, dude, I wonder what they're going to do for Ball for Bucks this year.
Yeah, I really hope they do something cool this year. Something that can totally top what they did last year.
When the T-Rex is out in the jungle, he is always aware not to step on any foliage. The T-Rex is a very smart predator, making sure not to talk when prey are nearby. Respecting the order of the jungle, the T-Rex is very aware when talking to teachers, and the T-Rex is also aware of photographers. The The T-Rex follows the latest fashion trends, so make sure to show up in style wearing teal or orange. The Dino also knows when to tactically retreat. If the gym is loud, you will be accommodated in rooms 116. Remember, no one but official barbers can shave heads. And remember, phones must be put away, not causing any disturbance. And also the confetti cannons do not signify the end of the assembly. The bell does.
Yeah, dude, today's week has just been crazy with I don't know, tests and stuff. Math has been absolutely catastrophic. Oh.
Yo, you want us to go ball?
Oh yeah, we got you.
We got you, man.
This has been Ricky Craig
and Caleb Bozier
reporting for Kram.
Thank you, Rowan, for those helpful reminders.
Last, but certainly not least, we have Jessica Nazaruk with Stew Corner.
Hey Rams, I'm Jessica Nazaruk, and this is your weekly Stew Corner. Next week is Bald for Bucks Week. This is one of the most exciting and special weeks of our year, and we want all of you to get involved. Here's what's coming up next week. Spirit Days start on Monday. Be sure to dress up and have fun. Monday is onesies or PJ Day, or wear blue. Tuesday is Crazy Hair Day, or wear red. Wednesdays is White Lies, or wear white. Take a white t-shirt and write a white lie about yourself on it. This must be school appropriate. Thursday, wear orange and teal in your support of Bald for Bucks shirts. Orange to support leukemia and teal because it's Cora's favorite color. Friday is Decades Day, or wear purple. Make sure to check the Rampart Stuco Instagram and the posters in the main stairwell for reminders next week. We have another food fundraiser today at Monica's Taco Shop on Jamboree Drive. Tell them you're with Bald for Bucks and Rampart High School to help us raise money. Next Thursday after Bald for Bucks, head over to Bad Daddy's Burgers for our final food night fundraiser. Monday is the dodgeball tournament. Come out and support, bring some change for the Miracle Minute, and watch our teams compete for the title of 2026 Dodgeball Champions. The Bald for Bucks Assembly is happening next Thursday. The assembly will start at 9:59 a.m. All Rampart students who are participating in shaving your heads or cutting your hair will be excused to head to the Commons at 9:30 a.m. This is a very exciting and important event. There will be a handful of speeches to start the assembly, so make sure to come in and be respectful to everyone who's speaking. Make sure to bring more change and money to the assembly for a Miracle Minute. We are looking to meet our school goal of $67,000 this year, so help us out. There will be a day of signups if you are interested and get inspired to shave or cut your hair at the assembly. We can't wait for next week, so join us to help make the 19th annual Bald for Bucks Assembly in support of Blood Cancer United and our hero, Cora, a magical one. Have a great week, Rams. Back to Caleb and Will in the studio.
Thank you, Jessica.
If your family wants to watch you shave or virtually attend the event, KRM Sports Broadcasting will be live streaming the event directly onto the KRM YouTube channel and KRDO channel 13.3 next week.
That is all for this week's KRAM.
This has been Caleb Bozier
and William Roberts,
signing off for KRAM. Protest. Shh. I'm educating children of color attended a summit.
Oh.
Hey, Will, it's your turn. Speak.
Now we were
My God!
I'm sorry.
No, come back.
I quit.
Come back.